When you're going through trial, let go. When your feet is in the fire, let go. When you feel your faith is weakening, let go. If it's true love that you're seeking, let go. If it's pain from your past, let go. If a grudge won't let you laugh, yeah, let go. Letting go with grace, everything's gonna be okay. Letting go with grace, and everything's gonna be okay. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go.
We have created a safe space where you can take off your capes, remove your mask, and just be yourself.
We will equip you with tools to increase your self-awareness, your self-accountability, and your self-acceptance so that you can dominate in every area of your life. Welcome to Letting Go with Grace. I am your host, Dr. Tasha, and this is
Portia.
And in this space, no topics off limits. We're on a mission to have it all. We want peace, joy, and love. So we are inviting you to come on this journey with us as we implement biblical principles to learn how to do life God's way. Mm-hmm. If you're new here, welcome.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
Please subscribe and like for our new videos.
And for all of you that are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for continuing to share and comment. Your participation helps us to continue to reach women all over the world as we go on this journey together, learning to apply God's wisdom and growing more and more day by day into the best versions of ourselves. So everybody get your journals out and let's get into this topic.
Okay, so this is our first episode, so I'm really excited. This has been, we've been in the lab, and so, of course, I know you're wanting to know, like, what makes this podcast so special. So our goal is for, over the next 6 weeks, we want to discuss some takeaways from a book we've been reading titled Good Boundaries and Goodbyes, Loving Others Without Losing the Best of Who You Are by Lisa Turkhurst. But before we get into that, we thought that this would be a perfect episode to introduce ourselves and how we got to the space of letting go with grace, or how we're learning.
Yes, because we are learning.
We are learning to let go with grace. Yes. So I want to introduce Portia, or I'll let Portia introduce herself.
Yes. So I'm Portia Davis. Goodness gracious, how did I get to letting go? I'm from a small town, little town, Lubbock, Texas. For all you Texas Tech fans out there, I know there's a few. A little small town from a single mother, who did the best that she could to raise us, without the guidance of a father. So growing up, I was really ambitious and wanted to, do my best. I was always that type of person, mostly because I was trying to get the attention of the elders, my mom or whoever, but that did ground me and make me more career driven. So I did that, I went through high school, went to college, I got my license as an LVN, and then ultimately continued to go to school and ended up getting my bachelor's and then master's in healthcare administration. So I've been in corporate America for 13 years now as a director of operations. I've done some certifications in project management. And so that's like the career path of my life. Now, that is one portion, right, of an individual's life.
Small portion.
A very small portion. And definitely played a part in letting go, but not as as significant as my personal journey. So another portion of me is growing up as extremely codependent. I was people pleaser, just trying to do everything I could to gain the acceptance of other people. Not really knowing my identity. I didn't have my father around. I actually didn't meet him till I was 40. That's for another episode.
Yes, because we gotta get into that.
Gotta get into the you just met your dad at 40. But it really shaped and molded me in a way where I was trying to gain the approval of other people. And so even though I was able to accomplish a lot of things, a lot of it was just me trying to be who everybody wanted me to be. And of course, when you live that type of life, you find yourself in some situations, where you don't really know who you are and you're looking to other people, which ultimately caused a whole lot of heartache and pain for me. So I have 3 beautiful children. I have been married and recently divorced, and that is also a topic for
another story. We're going to get into the tea, yes.
But I've gone through many things, suffering through a relationship that was driven by addiction and learning how to navigate through that, 17 years of marriage. As a part of all of that, trying to redefine who I am and God enlightening me so that I could be more self-aware and become a better person. And so my journey has kind of looked that way. My children are growing up. I am getting older. And getting to the point of letting go was learning that the truth is I've never had control of anything. Not only me, but nobody else who was trying to define me had control either. And so letting go meant I needed to be aware of this reality. And as soon as I was able to be aware that the reality was that God was actually in control of everything and I really wasn't in control of anything, kind of freed me to be able to get to a space where I could accept who I am and become more self-aware, but then also understand that I have a God that undergirds me, that actually guides my steps every day. So just submitting to the idea that God is the one that is in control, which gives me the ability to let go. So that's kind of a synopsis of who Portia is. And of course, Dr. Kassar has a whole nother story. So let's hear from you who you are.
All right. So my name is, I go by Dr. Tasha. My name is Yurika Tasha Kassar. I am a recent graduate of a doctorate program in marriage and family therapist. However, let's kind of rewind it back and talk about just little old me, little Tasha. I also grew up in Lubbock in West Texas. I grew up in a smaller town, Slayton, Texas. And that came with its own issues and own, so trauma, this may be a trigger, because I do have some trauma, childhood trauma with molestation and things like that. And so, growing up in a 2-parent home, I am the youngest of 4. And I always say that I am an only child. And the reason that I say that is because my siblings are 10, 12, and 13 years older than I am. So by the time I came, they was not, they fooled with me, but they wasn't trying to fool with me. And so I grew up as an only child. I was a latchkey kid, so I'm a 80s kid, right? I am absolutely a latchkey kid. I had a key around my neck. Right. And my parents worked really hard. So, 2 hardworking parents, they were trying to figure out how to be married. And so in the midst of that, I will say that my parents have always provided a loving home, but life happened. And so my journey of dealing with childhood molestation, being a latchkey kid, spending a lot of time alone, trying to navigate that, trying to figure out who I was. I tell people it's crazy, right? Because I always felt like I was special. Yeah. But nobody else knew I was special. It kind of felt like that. And the crazy thing is, I would try out for the basketball team. Hadn't played no basketball. I was probably, whatever, how old you are in the 3rd grade? 8, right? Yeah, whatever, right? So I'm on the basketball. So they played a lick of basketball, and they had this all-star league. And I'm thinking, I should probably be on the All-Star team. Now, mind you, I'll like. So they didn't pick me for the All-Star team, and I was feeling some type of way. But I'm telling this story because I think that this is the narrative of my life. Like, I knew that there was something there. And so God has kind of God has guided me on this journey of the validation of. And so I started to equate, like, I have to work for it. Right. And there does have to be a, yes, I'm special. And yes, I know that. But I didn't deserve to be on that All-Star team. Right. And so I had to, right. So I had to learn that, like, I had this entitlement that I deserve things that I hadn't worked for. And so, and so it was a lot of breaking in that and what that looked like, and a lot of me quitting because things didn't come easy, and me having to work hard and be consistent and have the discipline and determination. But then when I finally took on those characteristics, right, because my parents, my mom was a stickler, like she was black and white rules. This is what you're supposed to do, this and what you, but my dad is the total opposite. So me and my siblings, I would say we have like a nice balance, because my daddy's like, well, yeah, I think you're special too, and you should have it. I'm like, oh, daddy, like they tripping, right? Like that's what I said. And my mom was like, no, ma'am, you didn't work for that.
You didn't work for it.
But what happened for me, for little Tasha, is so I was dealing with the entitlement. And then getting the disappointment of being like, I feel like I deserve it, but then other people don't see me like this. And so I battled with I'm special, but nobody else sees it. So do I dim my light? And then I started to just kind of accept what people showed me. Like, you're not that special. You're not that important. And I started to operate from that place of unworthiness, where I had to prove to people that I was worthy and all of that good stuff. And that played out in my dating life and my friendships and all of these things. And that has probably been the constant, is me being able to understand through God's grace, is like, this is how he sees me, and I don't have to work for him to see me that way. But I'm not, and it's a crazy, right, dynamic, right? Because then I'm not entitled to things that I haven't worked for.
Correct. Yeah. It's
so
weird.
It's this crazy balance.
What's that balance? Yeah.
It's that balance. And so just journeying through that. So that's me growing up. I am currently married. I have a bonus baby girl who lives with us. I love her dearly. I've been married for 7 years, and there's, I want to say this because I think it does make a difference, and I'm understanding that it does. So I'm married to my husband's from Ghana, and so that the cultural aspect also plays into that, and so it's also me learning, understanding how to be a wife, because I was absolutely brought up under a woman got to do what a woman got to do, and so I am a great single woman. Like, I'm a boss,
right?
But I struggle being a wife, because that mindset does not translate well in the wifehood. And so on my journey of praying and saying, God, like, I don't, they said, get married, why don't you, right? Like, you do, and I did, and I'm like, everybody lied. Like, why get married? Why? Like, this is hard. I have no control over this. Like, I can't work hard, and because I'm dealing with somebody else, and I can't navigate what's happening with him. I can't control him, especially a Ghanaian man. Right? Just switches up some dynamics. And so my prayer this season, we've been married for 7 years at the end of this month, is that, God, help me be a godly wife. Like, I haven't seen it.
I love that.
I don't know what that looked like. Like I've seen my parents be married. And we'll talk about, maybe we'll see, talk about, my grandparents and all of that, but that influenced how my mom was a wife. Yes. And then she gave me the best that she had. But I don't know. It didn't work for me. Like it's not where it's not doing what it was supposed to do. And here I am 7 years in this, still trying to figure out like, what is it to be a wife? Right. And so in my prayer time, I think how I got to letting go is, it was just the point of my marriage. Like I was like, I don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this. Like, why are we doing this?
Why are we doing it?
And in my prayer time, like God was like, I need you to let go. And I was like, oh, okay. So I packed up my bags and go. Cool. Yeah. And he was like, no, ma'am, I need you to let go of the control of you trying to control it. And you come to me so that I can help you understand the principles, the biblical principles of being a wife. Yes. And as he shows me myself, because we talked about our goal is to have self-awareness and self-accountability. And that's, as we share our stories, we're hoping that you are able to walk through the same self-awareness and self-accountability. Right. Because it hasn't been about me. Like when I go to prayer about my husband, God, I wish I had a mirror, because God instantly got the mirror up. And I'm like, me?
First thing.
Yeah. And so he like, I need you to look at how you showing up in this marriage, but I need you to have some grace. Right. And so my grace is sufficient. I'm going to give you the strength. I will give you the supernatural strength to look at yourself, but it's not out of guilt and shame. Right. It's not, I'm not trying to shame you because you're not doing it right or it's wrong, but there's a better way.
There's a better way.
There's a better way. And so, of course, we are on this journey. And as we talk about boundaries for the next 6 weeks, our goal is to give you the video of our lives as we are trying to navigate these boundaries and set boundaries in our personal lives, whether it is, in our relationships, at work. I'm also learning how to be a leader. I have a company. I didn't say that I am the CEO of Chosen Coaching and Counseling. So I am a licensed professional counselor. However, this is not therapy. Right? Yeah. We want to coach you through some things, but I can't be your therapist on here. I'll leave a link if you need some help. Yes. But this is just my journey as God is taking me through it. And so I believe that our goal is to give you practical tools as we get downloaded wisdom, is to pour into other women who are in this space and who don't have the community or the words to navigate this space and to be okay with not knowing. And that is what letting go with grace is. For me. It's just being okay with not knowing.
Being okay with not knowing. So,
I said a lot. All right. But
no, that's good. No, you said a whole lot of really good stuff, Dr. Kassar. No, it's just the letting go part. And I think one thing that came up for me, like, as you were talking, is like, there's this misnomer that, if we get on here and we do this podcast, that we've somehow figured it all out. And we are now pouring out this information from a reservoir that's completely full. But to be honest, I can tell you that that's not necessarily my story. Like, this letting go is a process of letting go. And it's definitely progress, and it's not perfection. So, like, my goal here is to show up as authentic as possible and as transparent as possible, so that as we're engaging with these women and ourselves, we're doing this together. So we're learning as we go, that we don't put this burden on ourselves to somehow figure out everything and make it perfect. I don't even believe that the principles of God was intended that way. Otherwise, he would not have given us grace. Yes. But to just say, put one foot in front of the other. Try and try again. You never fail. You only learn. And that as long as you can get back to your center, and your center is God. He's the anchor. As long as you can get back to your center, you can find your way. And so this area, this space, this safety that we're talking about, that's the safety of it. this idea that I can't do anything right, which is very prominent when it comes to Christianity. We get into the religious aspect of I gotta do it right. The 663 laws that we're trying to follow, But Jesus came so we could implement grace, because guess what? He knew we weren't gonna be able to do that. Like if God intended us for us to be able to do that, He would not have sent His Son to die on the cross. And so the grace, letting go with grace, is just a prominent word, because I know for me, I need grace, because this boundary thing, your girl's still working on it. I'm just saying. Yeah. Do not consider me an expert when it comes to boundaries. So as we're walking through this book and we're going through these sessions, understand that we are also learning and embodying. And it's all about being able to see you. And so your mirror is your own. Your mirror is not me or Dr. Kassar. Your mirror is your mirror. So it's just take what you like, leave the rest, apply what you know to apply, keep coming back. Yes. Because the conversation continues. It's going to get good. It's going to get, listen, you don't get on these type of platforms without being willing to be transparent and authentic. And so I think both of us show up in that way. Like, what we want to give you is the raw, uncut version of a life of two women that are walking through this world, trying to apply the principles of a holy God. Yes. Understanding that we are three persons and we have experiences and we have spirituality and we have wisdom and knowledge. And we have to somehow bring all these things together to show up in a way that is the best version. And understand we're working towards the best version. We have not arrived. And any moment you feel like you have arrived, you probably should go back to the drawing board. Because there's no arrival in this journey. There is Your no arrival is when you meet God. This is a continuing journey every day. And so, yeah.
And I like that. And I think that maybe that is our goal. Our purpose for doing this is we do, again, we have a heart for women. Yes. We want to give women something that we didn't have, and God was gracious enough to gift us with this relationship where we can have this back and forth. And we said, like, we want to do this for other women. We want other women to benefit from this knowledge that we got. Like, come get this knowledge and wisdom. But know that I had it, but I'm also trying to figure out how to walk it out, right? So that part, so we not sleeping on the level of knowledge that we have. And I think that's what makes this this podcast a little bit different from others, right? So we come with a set of expertise, and we are knowledgepreneurs. So we are constantly trying to figure out what is the best way, the practical tools that we are able to offer ourselves, to offer other women, because we want you to be free. Like, just that space to just be free, to know who you are, the validation of you are God's daughter. Like, He is in love with you. You are that girl. And for you to believe it, not just say it, right? I in my line of work and in my history and working with women who look like us and, who are driven like us, it is so hard. Personally, it is so hard for me to admit those places where I'm like, I don't feel worthy of this, right? Like, I've seen God just bring me through so many situations, and sugar, getting this PhD was a job. But it's, and it's all for the glory of the kingdom.
It is.
And so that's it, this space and this time in my life. I want to live a God first lifestyle. Right. That is my journey. And it's like, how can I be a tool, and how can we be the resource? And so our goal is to just pour into you, but not only pour into you, to walk it through with you, and then to give you practical tools. And like Portia said, you choose, like, you figure out what works for you. And then sometimes you'll take it and you'll make it yours. But that's what we want. We want to be able to create sisterhood communities, safe spaces, That's our biggest goal. A safe space where you can just come hang out with us, comment, chat, and we can just figure this thing out. Like, how we applying these biblical principles, guy? Like, okay, you saying do this. And I'm trying Jesus, but at the same time, you know, like them t-shirts, like, I love Jesus.
Yes.
But you can get these hands on some days.
That
like,
part, you know. Like, we got to work through that. You can get these hands part.
Yeah. Like, what do I do with my hands, Lord?
What do I do with my hands? That's all I know. You know, just trying to bring all of those pieces together.
Yes.
And what's coming up for me right now, what's like probably the most important aspect of all of this is self-awareness. It's kind of, most people are not able to really look at themselves in the mirror. I heard a statistic just the other day that 36% of people do not know how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have the words to articulate the way that they feel. And so just being able to, like, this is who I am. This is me. I'm going to accept it, so that now I can start applying some things, or the areas that I need to change or need to tweak, or that are not in alignment with the principles of God. So before you can do that, you got to know you, so you know what to compare, to know what you need to work on, right? And so the most painful part is getting to know you, right? To be able to look in the mirror and say, this is who I am. This is all of me, you know, in all my glory. These are all of my experiences. This is my truth. This is my honesty. So that God can then start working with you on that journey of becoming the best version of you, because you have a version. But if you don't see that version, how do you know if you're moving towards anything else? So it's just like that piece, that self-awareness part of it.
Unstuck.
Yeah.
Self-awareness gets you unstuck. And I can guarantee that a lot of people who will hear this feel stuck. And so our goal is to get you unstuck. So some just emotional intelligence, you know, that's, my expertise, right? I want to help you understand and name those things.
Yes.
So that you can put words to it, give it a voice. And, you know, we're going to walk this journey out together. And so I'm super excited.
Yes, me too. I am
doing this. We, you know, it doesn't matter how much you've accomplished. It's always scary to start something new. And so, you know, we are, I think that God first lifestyle helps us be able to move in a place, you know, even if we are fearful, help, you know, just to move in that power of we doing this out of love. And so we can move in love. We're going to move, despite of the fear, we moving in love. So
yes.
I'm excited. I'm super excited. And so just be on the lookout for our next episode. We'll be doing weekly episodes. This series will be on boundaries. And so we will be teaching boundaries. We will be telling you how we are trying to implement these things that we're teaching, and the trials and tribulations of implementations of these boundaries.
We'll get into it. Woo!
So we're going to get into it. So yes, I am encouraging everyone to grab a journal, right? I'm going to give everybody a challenge. So this is what we're going to do. At the end of each session, we're going to give you a challenge. We're going to challenge ourselves, and we're going to challenge you. So the first challenge is, I want you to think about how you want to feel at the end of this year. How do you want to feel? Like, I mean, use what do you want to look like? What do you want to be doing? Like, what does the air smell like in this space? What you got on, right? Like, what is happening? And then go to DD's, Ross, whatever. I want you to get a new journal, right? Go find a journal that represents what the vision is for you, right? Write the vision, make it plain, right? And so I want you to go get that journal. And then as we walk out on this journey, we will be giving you practical tools on how to implement whatever series we're in. So in these boundary series, we'll give you practical tools on how to begin to implement these principles, and then we'll be bringing out the biblical principles as well. But I want you to have a journal, because I want you to document. I want you to be intentional about this journey, because we're going to grow, right? You cannot do something and not grow. You cannot plant a seed and not grow. So we're going to grow. So I want you to be intentional on this journey. And so that's what the journaling is for. That is the therapist in me. So yes, go get your, and we document as well. So yeah, what? Portia,
Yeah, no, I love the journal thing and just I mean, it's like a breath of fresh air to just think about what the end of the year, like the way I'd like to see it. So I could just imagine, I can't wait to see what everybody else has to say, about their vision for themselves at the end of the year. So make sure you comment and kind of tell us some of this stuff. Like, we want to hear, who do you really want to be? Like, give us some synopsis of what you're looking at. So we can make it more real, because once you point your eyes in a direction, you'll start moving that way. So as soon as you do that, that starts your journey. The moment you write it down, it starts your journey to that place. And now your vision, your focus is in that direction. And no matter how the world twirls and moves, you're still moving in that direction. So that is foundational. Like, being able to do that, Dr. Star, is awesome. Let's write it down. Let's get that picture so that we can start focusing ourselves into that direction.
Yes, and take pictures of your journals, and we'll challenge ourselves. We'll go get our journals too, and we'll have them on our next episode. So yeah, take pictures, put them in the comment sections, because I love, and I want to hold you accountable, right? And I want you to hold us accountable as well. So we are super excited to go on this journey of letting go with grace. Again, we are your hosts. My name is Dr. Tasha, Dr. Kassar.
And I'm Portia.
And we are excited. So what I would like to ask you is, are you ready to let go?
Oh, man. So ready. I can already hear it. Yes. Show me how to do it.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.